Okay, welcome. The purpose of this video is just to give you a little introduction into the group project that we are starting tomorrow. So I wanted to first give you an intro into the routers we're going to be using, which you're seeing on the screen right now. So as we've taken our data center tours and you've seen routers used in professional settings, they are much larger than the routers that you would see in class tomorrow. That being said, this small 4-port router that you see is the exact same thing as the bigger 32-port routers you'd see, or numerous port routers that you'd see in data centers like Expedient. So don't let it fool you, even though this is just a small demo device or it's not even a demo device. It will do everything a normal enterprise router would do. It just doesn't have as many ports on the back. So that's what we'll be using, the Edge Router X. So every group will have at least one of these routers assigned to them tomorrow. And the first thing you're going to have to do, pretty much what will comprise most of class tomorrow, will be configuring these routers and simply logging in and getting set up with your interfaces. So we're going to talk about how to get logged into the router, how to configure your computer to connect to it, and that'll end the video for today. So a couple resources that are going to be available for you. We have the quick start guide is what you're seeing right here. It's on my screen. This quick start guide wouldn't hurt for you to kind of thumb through this before class starts tomorrow. We'll have a little bit of time to kind of review in class, but it wouldn't hurt to get acclimated with just some of the ins and outs of the router. It's a pretty short read. This will be available for you on Moodle. I also have the full 105-page manual that you could use with the Router X program. I seriously doubt anyone will actually read, but that's available for you as well, also on Moodle. So I would say when you're getting started, if you want to just kind of take a look at some things, maybe start with looking at this quick start guide. Check out this video that I'm going to make for you guys, and tomorrow in class, we'll dig in and actually start setting these up. So first thing you're going to have to do is connect to the router. Okay, so to connect to the router, you're going to have to make some configuration changes on your computer tomorrow. So the first thing you're actually going to have to do, and you may not actually have to do this, I'm using my computer, my office computer here, but tomorrow we might disconnect these for you at the beginning. But the first thing I'm going to have to do is actually disable my internet. So I'm going to have to go in here and I am going to turn off my wireless completely. So I'm going to disconnect from my home network. I'm completely offline right now because we want to connect to the router in order to use that to funnel all the traffic through. So the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to configure our Ethernet adapter in order to connect to this router. So what does that mean? We're going to set up a static IP address and subnet mask for the computer that we're working on. So I'm going to, instead of letting DHCP assign an IP address to my computer, I'm going to statically give it an address. Then we're going to use that address to connect to the router. So I'm going to go into the control panel and I'm going to go into my network settings and I'm going to change my adapter settings. This is your network interface card, right? Ethernet, all that stuff we're going to talk about. So here's my Ethernet adapter settings. I'm going to right click and go to properties. And once I get all these properties set up, don't be overly worried about all the stuff going on in here for now. What you want to look for is TCP/IP, specifically IP version 4. So we're not messing around with IP version 6. We're not going to worry about that. We're just doing TCP/IP version 4. So we're going to click version 4, click properties. Okay, once that sets up, we are going to set a static IP address specifically for the computer that we are working on. So for your group tomorrow, you need to configure a computer before it connects to the router that has a static IP address of your choosing. Okay. Now, it would be good practice to make sure that that static IP doesn't conflict. However, it shouldn't make that big of a difference this early in the game. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to take it off of obtain IP address automatically. Basically, let DHCP give me an IP address, and we're going to set up our own static IP address. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I've also got a supplemental PowerPoint for you, that you want to choose an IP address that's going to be 192.168.1 and any number that you want other than 0, 1, or 255 after that for the fourth octet. Remember, 0, 1, and 255 are reserved. So 0 is the network address, 255 is the broadcast address, and 1, we're going to use that for the router. Okay, so it could be anything. It could be 2, It could be 3, it could be 5, whatever you like. So I mean, I'm just going to leave it at 5. Okay, and we're going to keep that subnet mask of 255, 255, 255, and 0. Okay, so again, what we've done, we've disabled the wireless. Okay, we've gone in and disabled DHCP and set up a static IP address with an IP address that doesn't conflict with anybody else in class and a subnet mask of 255, 255, 255, and 0. We're going to click OK and close. And that's step 1. Okay, so step 1 was disabling Butler's internet or disabling your computer's internet and setting up a static IP address. The next thing we're going to need to do is we are going to use a program called Putty. Okay, so Putty will already be installed for you tomorrow, but let me tell you a little bit about what Putty is. Okay, Putty is a secure shell. We already had that set up. Sorry, I already have this on my computer. I don't need to install it again. We want Putty desktop app. There we go. So Putty is a program that you can use to set up secure shell and telnet connections to connect to devices. We're going to use secure shell, which, as you guys know, use port 22 to directly connect to our router interface. Okay, so now at this point, you will want to connect to port 0 or interface 0 on your router. Okay, so you're going to plug your actual copper cable, your Ethernet cable, into the back of interface 0 on your router, and then plug the other end of that directly into the network interface card of your computer. Okay, now once you've done that, you're going to open up Putty, which is where we are now, and you are going to connect to your router, your specific router, using a terminal by doing this. So we're going to go to hostname, and we're going to type 192.168.1.1, which is almost always the address of your router. Okay, although 1 doesn't have to be, it's usually a business practice that 1 is the address of your router. So 0 is the network, 1 is the router, and 255 is your broadcast address. So we're going to have secure shell connect to 192.168.1.1. So basically, we're going to take control of your router. We're going to click open, and then up's going to pop Putty like so. So you're going to get this terminal box, right? Old school, just like the movies, like the Matrix, right? Black screen, green letters, and it's going to ask for a login. The login for your router is going to be UBNT. Okay, that's the login name. And the password is going to be UBNT. And that's a shadow password, so you're not going to see it, but it's going to pop in for you. Now, once I did that, it's told me that I've connected. Okay, so I've logged in at 192.168.1.5, which is the IP address of my machine that we just statically set up. And now it's giving me the command prompt. So at this point, you're ready to go in and start configuring your interfaces and your routing tables. So you are all set. If you can make it through this video within 20 minutes tomorrow, I would consider that a victory. Okay, so let me quickly walk you back through one more time what we did. Okay, step 1. If you're using your own computer or if you're using a lab computer that hasn't been configured, or excuse me, that has not been set up at all, you're going to go in and first disconnect the wireless. Okay, so I went in, I turned off my wireless. Okay, next thing you're going to do is you're going to go into your control panel. You're going to disable DHCP. To do that, you go to Network and Internet, Network Sharing Center, and then you're going to change your adapter settings right here. Okay, so once you get to your adapter settings, and one note that you guys will have, this is different depending on what operating system you're using. So I'm on Windows 10 Professional. If you're on Windows 8, you won't have as cool of an interface as I just had when I was in Control Panel. So you won't have this little area in here. You'll be able to skip directly to this screen that you see right here. So you'll just have a little option that says Network and Internet. You'll click Change Adapter Settings, and this will all be the same. Okay, you're going to right click on your Ethernet adapter, go to Properties. When you do this, you'll have DHCP already configured. Okay, so I'm going to go down to TCP/IP, select Properties. So when you do this, you'll have DHCP already enabled. We're going to disable DHCP. We're going to give it a static IP address of 192.168.1 and any number between 2 and 254 would work. Okay. And a subnet mask of 255, 255, 255, and 0. Okay. Once you do that, you're going to use Putty. As we've established, Putty is just a little application that lets you secure shell connect. So it's a method of connecting to a device securely. So SSH stands for secure shell. Okay. And in order to do that, you're going to, and I'll go ahead and get out of it, and I'll do it again. Once you do that, you're going to go in and plug in your host name, right? So the host name is the IP address of the router you're connecting to, which by default is 192.168.1.1. Secure shell. We're going to click open, and it's going to ask you to log in. The default username is UBNT. The default password, which you won't be able to see yourself type it in, but it's going, is also UBNT. And now you're ready to enter command line. This is when you're actually going to go in and configure your router. All right. So for now, that's it. Be sure to check out that quick start guide in the notes for class tomorrow, and I'll see you soon.